Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. I am Assistant Professor Deepa Agrawal from ITCS department. This video is for FIIT Semester 2 Green Computing and topic name is cooling. So first we will see what is cooling. In this topic we learn strategies to reduce power that is used by the data centers. Heat is a byproduct of all power and a data center can become overheated. Data center managers don't want their equipment to overheat, but they are spending money when they use too much cooling power. This examines cooling issues in the data center as well as where can save money, and it provides some tips for adding cooling capacity without spending more money. Cooling costs. Some estimates that the cooling can account for upward of 63% of our IT department's power usage. That's obviously an enormous amount and not something that ought to be overlooked. If more cooling power is needed, rather than simply turning up the air conditioning, it's useful to figure out the quantity of spending and how much actually needs to be spent. Now we'll see causes of cost. Cooling is a major component of power consumption and by extension IT budget. A number of issues extends power consumption and cooling costs, including the following points. Number one, increased power expenditure as more servers and storage devices are deployed. Second, increased heat solidity in the racks because of increased computing power in a confined space. Number three, irregular heat load in the data center. This is irritated by poor planning for heat management as the topology of the data center changes. Increasing power costs across the different locations. A tendency to overcool data centers. The flood cooling impulse leads data center managers to overcool their data centers by more than 2.5 times what is needed. Now we'll see how to calculate cooling needs. The requirement of cooling needs our system at the data center. All the equipment in the server room generates heat while running. All these sources of heat contribute or supply to the heat load of the server room. Generally, this number is expressed in British thermal unit. In short, it is called BTUs or kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is the same as 3412 BTUs. Before buying any new cooling equipment, it's important to figure out how much is required. To find the heat load, must take into consideration a number of factors, not just the heat load of the equipment. Reducing cooling cost. If the data center's cooling consumption cost may occur in a billing, there are some ways we can reduce cost. First, economizers. Winter provides an opportunity to enhance the cooling system by using the cold outside air to cool things down. But it isn't as simple as opening a window to accomplish this. To do so, we need to employ what is called an economizer. There are two types of economizer. First is air side and second is water side. Air side economizer. An air side economizer regulates the use of outside air for cooling a room or a building. It employs sensors, ducts and dampers to regulate the amount of cool air brought in. Water side economizer. A water side economizer utilizes evaporative cooling provided by cooling towers to indirectly produce chilled water to cool a data center when outdoor conditions are cool. Second point is on-demand cooling. On-demand cooling systems are becoming more and more common. These units are brought in to provide temporary cooling when central air is descending. They are also widely used in data centers. There are two types of on-demand cooling systems, very similar in function to economizers. First is air-to-air. In this, coolers can be wheeled into the room needing cooling. They use flexible ductwork to connect to a window, and then the generated heat is transferred out of the building. Second is the water-based. These are much larger units where a standard garden hose is connected to the device so that water flows in, cools down the equipment, and then is sent through a second hose to run down a drain. Third solution is HPS solution. It offers a cooling technology that it says can cut an IT department's power cost by up to 40%. The system, called Dynamic Smart Cooling, uses sensors to regulate the temperature in a specific areas of the data center. Dynamic Smart Cooling is an intelligent solution. Dynamic Smart Cooling uses the data center's air con system to adapt to changing workloads with sensors attached to the computers. Fourth point is optimizing airflow. Exchange of air is important. To bring the precise cooling environment, air must be exchanged at a sufficient rate. In high density data centers, air has to be exchanged 50 times an hour. If sufficient air is not exchanged, cooling air will heat up before it reaches the equipment and disaster could occur. Optimizing airflow reduces cooling cost. It helps minimize cost without you having to buy the newest product. Next is hot aisle or cold aisle. Equipment is typically described to draw in air from the front and then blow the exhaust out the rear. The cold aisle have perforated floor tiles to draw cooler air from the raised floor. Floor mounted cooling is placed at the end of hot aisle but not parallel to the row of racks. Next is raised floors. Data centers are precisely constructed on a floor that is heightened 18 to 36 inches. The heightened the floor level, the more air that can be given out under the floor and the more air that can be used by the cooling system. Cable management. Developing a good cable management system in conjunction with the hot aisle, cold aisle design can equate to more energy efficiency. Whenever possible, it's best to route our cables under the hot aisle. This reduces the cool air's path to the equipment as it is drawn in through the perforated tiles and into the equipment's cooling systems. Some organizations also are running cabling above or through racks instead of under the floors to scale back the interference with the flow of air from below. Vapor seal. It's also important to ensure a good vapor barrier in our data center, cutting it from the rest of the building. If this has a poor vapor barrier, humidity will move into the data center during hot months and escape during the winter months. A good vapor seal reduces the cost of humidity or dehumidity. Fans. Fans consume a lot of power, mainly when a lot of them are spinning at the same time. Following are the tips to improve fan efficiency. For improvement, we use low pressure drop air handlers or ductwork. Make sure there is enough volume in our underfloor plenums to allow air to flow. Use redundant air handlers during standard operations. It is more efficient to use auxiliary fans at a lower speed than a single fan at high speed. Power usage drops with the square of the velocity. In consequence, operating two fans at 50% capacity uses less power than one fan at full capacity. Humidity. Data center cooling system must also be capable of adapting to exterior temperature and humidity. Due to these factors will change depending on where on the globe the data center is located along with the time of year. Data center air conditioning system must be able to adapt to these types of changes. Too much humidity can devastate data center equipment. Following are the tips to keep data center at the right level. Set up a humidity sensor, allow for sensor redundancy, control humidity, lockout economizers, centralize humidity control. Next is system design. The cooling system's design is important to consider while getting close to the heat source. There are two common designs in data centers, open and closed. In a closed design, the electronics and cooling equipment are situated in conjunction in a sealed environment. This is the high capacity cooling solution. This preferred only open design because a closed solution offers little flexibility. Data center design. For optimizing cooling, the data center needs to design. A number of issues can help to reduce the amount of cooling that need, and it's fully dependent on the design of data center and how cooling is deployed. Centralized control. While designing a cooling plan, it's best to employ a custom centralized air handling system. This type of system offers several benefits over the prevalent multiple distributed unit system, including the following points: better efficiency, surplus and redundant capacity, work in conjunction, more efficient than water, and less maintenance. So in this video we have covered cooling issues in the data center as well as where this can save money, and it provides some tips for adding cooling capacity without spending more money. And selecting a technology that can scale to future needs is a critical part of our considerations. Cooling system is such a huge portion of our data center that it really merits a lot of our attention. Thank you.